It's Hack Manchester 2017. With me, I have got Texonic. Cool, excellent. And what's your name? And how do you know each other? Where's your team
So
from?
we're all mates from this sort of area. I mean, I'm originally from the south, but I'm here for uni.
Yeah.
And
what's your name?
Jake.
Jake, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. And what's your name?
I'm Josh.
And what challenge have you decided to do this weekend?
We're doing the one by Texonic.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of sensors in the building and in their own warehouses, and we've got to use the data that we get back from them in an interesting way.
Yeah, are you using the live data or the?
We're using live data from the database.
Live database, yeah. Excellent. And what's your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, what's your idea then? What's your plan?
Okay. It's a bit of a crazy one really, but I think that's what they want. So we're looking at taking the live data and then converting it into a sound file. So you can listen to instruments that are essentially played based on the values of the sensors that are collected. So it's a bit weird and we don't really know what's going to happen, but sort of that's what the whole aim of the whole weekend is, I guess.
What's your name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Is this your second time?
It is, yeah. I was at junior last year.
Hack Manchester Junior. What's the difference between this stepping up from junior?
This one feels a lot more involved and extreme.
Cool.
It's all overnight instead of going home at the end of the day.
5 o'clock, that kind of, yeah. And so what are you working on? Is this some technology?
So this is the hub, all of
like
the
the base station.
Yeah, so everything connects. So we've got different sensors strewn around the building. This is an infrared motion sensor, so that sort of detects when someone goes past it.
Yeah.
And this is a door sensor, so it's got a magnet in it. You'd have that attached to the wall, that attached to the door. Once the door goes away, it would activate.
Yeah. I've heard that the difference between the door one's a bit kind of binary. It's either not.
So
whereas the light sensor is more sensing the level of light.
Yeah. So this would be. At the moment, this would have a 0 value because it'd be off, and as soon as that breaks away, it would count as 1. So that's when we'd play a note. So these devices are all around this building, and they all feed back to one of these, and we can access this through a live database, and then we can get data from that every 10 seconds or so, and output whenever these are on or off. We can output them as notes.
Sure, but it's not real time enough for you to like have people around the places opening and closing doors in order to make notes.
You wouldn't quite be able to do that. It's got a bit of a buffer on it, but it's relatively real time.
Sure, cool. And what have you been working on then to make this work?
I've been working on the connection to the database initially, and now looking at the front end. So yeah, there's quite a lot involved in doing it. So we're just there's quite a few different problems that we've got.
Okay. What's been the biggest problem so far then?
I think initially it was just deciding what the idea was. We spent about 4 hours deciding.
Just coming up with the idea what you're going to do with it.
We wanted to do something that was a bit more out there. I mean, this technology has been used for burglar alarms and fire systems. We wanted something that wasn't with the conventional. So we experimented with the idea of sticking this magnet inside one of these stress balls. There we go, like that, and then having these strapped to people's hands, and then when they catch it, it registers that they've caught it.
So you could kind of do a juggling tracking simulator type.
Yeah, something like that. But we decided to try and make music out of this technology. So
cool, excellent. So what was your name again?
Josh.
Josh, what are you working on, Josh?
So I've done quite a lot of work to link kind of the front end with the back end. So making calls to the back end, getting the data back in a format that we can use. So that's basically what I've been focused on.
I suppose you don't need all the data that comes from these devices for each note.
They've got loads. They've got all sorts of things like temperature in the room. They've got light levels. They've got information about sensors. All sorts of things.
But those won't really change quick enough to change sounds, will they?
Not necessarily. So a lot of it we ignore, but some things we're trying to use in creative ways. So we're trying to use, say, the signal strength as the volume of the notes, or the type of sensor as the instrument, things like that.
Excellent. That sounds good. And what are you working on then?
So I'm taking the data that he's producing from the front end and actually making the notes themselves.
And what are you using for that? Is it MIDI or
JavaScript? It's just a JavaScript library that essentially generates its own sine waves using maths.
Oh, excellent.
And so that's what I'm doing at the moment.
So you don't need, if it's generated in sine wave, you don't actually need to worry about instruments and voices and all that
there
kind of
are
stuff.
since it's a library. There's 4 different instruments that come along with it, but no, not really. It's quite lightweight.
Excellent. Sounds good. So what's going to be the next biggest challenge then, do you think, guys?
Getting something that actually creates interesting music.
So you think you can make a lot of noise very easily?
Yeah, we can make a lot of noise, and we can probably make it very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's try and make it not so annoying and still quite interesting.
Sure, excellent. Right, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah,
Cheers,
thanks.
thank you.
Yep.
And by the way, guys, just